breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to appear. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, and if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation pride.
All right, good morning. And there's Howard. The story of Howard. Look, there's Howard. Howard the duck. There's a funny story about Howard the duck. We'll share that story one day. That was during Hurricane Zeta last year. I went up storm documenting. I wasn't chasing anything. I was up there documenting the storm. Bumped into Jim Cantori, and the rest is history. I got to get my phone off here. So good morning. Welcome to the Daily Brew. Tammy Kent messaging me. Hey, Tammy. She said the bucket trucks don't move that fast. This storm is coming quick. They're hauling ass from New York to Louisiana. One storm to the next. So, yeah, the duck. All right, well, good morning. Let's show you some puppies. So it takes a few minutes for everybody to get notified that we're live. So we usually chit-chat for a few minutes. So you have reached Mike's weather page here, our Daily Brew. We chit-chat about the tropics. This is Louie. He was made for the camera. Found out today's National Puppy Day. Or National Dog Day. I didn't even know that was a thing. There's a dog day for everything. But so I got a picture. Which one is it? Let me. I got to get the right one here. I don't know. One's. Oh, there he is. Look at that. You know who that is? That's Louie. Louie was the cover model of Talladega Super Speedway. Look at you, buddy. That's you. Look right there. Look. Can you see yourself? Stop looking at the camera for a minute. Look. That's you. So yeah, Talladega uses them on their marketing. Can you believe it? I love it. And the other dog, let's put Louie down since it's National Dog Day. And listen, y'all, I got to do a disclaimer. If you don't have the patience for shenanigans, this is not your weather place to be, because I ramble on a lot. This will probably go on an hour. So if you need official info, you're antsy. You get it. You just got to get through the normal stuff that we do here. So don't post anything to get on with it, because that'll make me go even longer. Here's our dog. National Dog Day. Hunter. Hurricane Hunter. Got a beer after him. Big Storm Brewing. New batch coming soon. Very soon. But the little guy's got his own beer. He's about the size of a beer can. he's two beers big. Look, there's one can. He's a 2-canner. He's 2 cans short of a 4-pack. So happy Dogs Day. And I do want to share this picture. Have you seen this one? You know who they are? That's the Hurricane Hunters out of Lakeland. That was them holding Hurricane Hunter last year on the runway. Cheers. The real Hurricane Hunters cheering Hurricane Hunter beer. Now, is that not amazing? Because you're famous, buddy. Okay, say goodbye. So the Hurricane Hunters go out today. Big day today in Weather World. Big day. Big day. Hurricane Hunters are heading in. We're going to get a true center fix, and that is going to be big. All right, first and foremost, big thanks to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits located here in Florida. Not saying the Panhandle isn't going to get something out of this. If you read the new NHC advisory this morning, very rare key messages coming out. I've never seen NHC put out key messages for an invest, but now they're specifically mentioning the upper Gulf, and they're using words like dangerous. So this is happening quick. Sunday is the day. You got to prepare. You got 3 days in the upper Gulf. It's trending towards Louisiana, but they mentioned the Florida Panhandle. Why? Big system. Eastern side is always more active than the western side. They mentioned Florida Panhandle. That means you can get your official hurricane supplies at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and I'm sure they got one somewhere around Pensacola. For sure. All right, so dangerous. All right, so once I get rolling, I don't get to read comments very much. So we're going to go over all the models, the latest and greatest, everything going on. We're going to get new spaghetti models. They just came out. 12Zs just came out. I'm looking at them. We're going to show that. And listen, 3 days. I keep stressing this. 3 days from now. Not Labor Day weekend, this weekend. One more shout out here. Since we're going to be dealing with a potential major hurricane, I hate to say it, but the reality is we got very good likelihood of a hurricane, possibly major hurricane, which means, unfortunately, the damages that come with that. But Mike's Weather Page fans support Mike's Weather Page supporters, and one of our biggest fans is Frank Dalton here at Coastal Claims. So if you got to do any insurance work, look them up. We have a lot of storm industry companies that support what we do, and they're one of them. So just think about them if you do have to, get any claims after this Invest 99, which could be Ida. Give them a call. They're right here on our site. All right, so let's show the key messages. Key messages, which is so rare. I've never seen it for an invest. Here's what they say: trouble, depression, or storm today or tonight. I don't mean to point at you. That's something new I just started. Heavy raining and flooding. Ferguson, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Cuba. So this thing is going over the Yucatan this weekend, and big old blob of rain over Jamaica right now, heading to the Cayman Islands right now. We'll look into that. It's a big system. Since the U.S. is, there I go pointing again. Smack me. I don't want to point. Oh, look at this, by the way. I got to share. I forget this. So yesterday, remember the story I shared about the doormat? Look what showed up yesterday. Shelly sent me a tropical flip-flops doormat. So if you watched the Daily Brew yesterday, you'll know exactly the meaning of a new doormat. Our weather people are the greatest. Thank you, Shelly. All right, so here's what they say about the U.S. All right. Dangerous impacts from storm surge, wind, heavy rainfall, Sunday and Monday along portions of the northern Gulf from the Florida Panhandle to the upper Texas coast. Now, the reason they mentioned Texas is we still got some ensembles, but we're seeing eastern side, the heaviest side. Texas, you're going to be on that border, maybe not getting anything. It does appear that the center is kind of going a little bit to the north, which means the spaghetti models, like we talked about last night, are going to be shifting to that east side. So Texas still watching, but Louisiana eastward really watching. Timing is this weekend. Hurricane hunters go in today, and they'll be hopefully designating this as a storm so we can get really good coordinates on that center. But, for the NHC to say words like dangerous, now I'm not, a couple days ago, we were talking about this system last week. Today's Thursday. But, all the speculation of this being strong, now they're saying dangerous. So, all right, let's look at the latest spaghetti models. These just came out, tropicaltidbits.com. Let me turn off all my other links here. So these just came out. We use Tropical Tidbits, Levi's site. We love them. Support them. There you go. Let's just leave it right there for now. These are your latest and greatest fresh spaghetti. Telford Homes, 4 flights today. Wow. Welcome, YouTubers. Love you guys over there. Appreciate Universal Roofing helping us out on the YouTube side. We got YouTube growing. So here you go. These are the latest spaghetti models, 12Z. A lot of people ask me questions. What is 12Z? That's just Zulu time. Eastern time, it makes sense. 6Z usually comes out around 6 a.m. 12Z, well, they don't come out at that. Correct me. 12Z comes out at 9 a.m. The 18Zs will be out at 3 p.m. 00Z comes out around 9 p.m. So they're 3 hours ahead. But anyway, these are your latest 12Zs. But look, man, we got amazing consistency. Port St. Joe watching. Hey, guess what? I'll be there next week. So, you hear a lot of Mets talking about, well, this thing doesn't have a real center yet. It's don't look at models. Well, I agree, but listen, we've been showing this because I believe in it. But the simple fact is this: regardless of wherever the center is, the other factors that are happening is this high pressure is a given, and the models, the models look at more than just Invest 99. They're looking at upper air patterns. This high pressure is very consistent with models. So whatever happens, it's eventually going to end up riding this high pressure ridge around. That's why we have consistency. And it's believable consistency at this point. We're only talking something 3 days away. I mean, if this was 8 days away, yeah, there's a lot of wiggle room. But, man, I'm telling you, 3 days away, models usually aren't this wrong. So we got a little tug to the north right now. We got this upper level low coming through Florida. If you're wondering what's happening, kind of fascinating, actually. This is live. This is a upper level low bringing in a lot of moisture to Florida right now, as you know, on the East Coast. Cheers, by the way. What's up, Bill Lauderdale? Biloxi Brandon, keep it up. Keeping both eyes wide open. You ever see that movie, Eyes Wide Shut? I think it was Tom Cruise. Is that like the most weird movie ever? That chant, just eyes wide shut. I don't know. I just thought of that, eyes wide open. But this upper level low is tugging our system to the north, and could be actually helping ventilate our system a little bit too. So this is not tropical. It's an upper level low. But that's why we're seeing models pull a little bit to the north. It's reacting to that, and that's very good consistency. Now, listen, eastern Cuba is very flat, so there's really no weakening over Cuba. This part of Cuba is flat, so we won't see any weakening. But, there's nothing pointing to Texas. And we're seeing this trend here. And that's why, regardless of a track, remember, the eastern part of a storm is the strong side. We get a system like this, that big, you know, that could be center. It's stretching all the way to the Florida Panhandle. That's why they mentioned the Florida Panhandle today. People get so confused, I think, seeing that cone as the impact area, and the cone is only where the center can go. So if you had to draw a cone today, it'd probably be like this, you know, the 5-day cone. I don't even know if they'd be that wide, actually. But, you know, like that. But if the center takes the track here, then the storm affects well east of that cone. So you got to realize that the cone is just the center, not the actual storm. Okay, let's see how big it is. We haven't really talked about that. Let's go to Weather Nerds. Take a look at that. So, all these questions about what ifs, listen, that's why we have spaghetti models, and that's why we look at models. They're the brains. Everything else is just speculation. So, the reason I made this site, Spaghetti Models, because I live and die by spaghetti models. They have never let me down as far as trends and strengths and understanding them and weather patterns and stuff. So, but if we look at this structure, it's definitely, you know, getting that look. Unfortunately, the heaviest convection is over Jamaica right now. It's taking its time, but it's definitely, you know, it's definitely getting some outflow, a little bit of banding. Not expected to be anything until it passes Cuba. Most models show no development until tomorrow, maybe Saturday. So this thing, you know, isn't expected to be anything in the short term. Size of it, that's always a big question. This is, why are we not getting anything? Let me restart. Oh, there we go, 351. All right, so there's 400 miles. That line right there is 400 miles. So that's 400 miles. So you could argue it's 400 miles wide. 400 miles wide. You could argue that. 350 to 400. So that's the size. There's 360. So 350 to 400 miles wide. Let's go back here to the U.S. Oh, got to turn that off. This is Weather Nerds, by the way. I love the user interactiveness. I got Sarah on the bus today, by the way. Hey, cup of coffee. MT Mapes. Thanks, buddy. Just an idea what 350 miles looks like. Let's pretend that we get a storm track here. We measure here, 350 miles could be, let's see, try again. I have to go all the way up. Where the heck? There we go. All right. So here's 350 miles. That just gives you an idea. That's 350, and that's 400. That's 400. Now that's wide, so. But people like to know that. You know, there's 400 miles. So most of the heaviest action is always to the east side, but that just shows you that if we get a system, you know, making landfall in Louisiana, we could definitely have effects towards Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. All right, enough of that. All right, so we got the spaghetti models out. Intensity models, I usually don't use them very much, but here you go. All of them are showing a hurricane. Pretty much. A couple of them are Cat 2, a couple of them are the Cat 3. And that's it. Let's look at models now. So I posted this earlier today, real quick. I want to show this one in case I forget. I like to get a little more sciencey, or not sciencey, but other stuff like why would I show stuff like you know, you could just show a random model, but I like to know, obviously, what we're dealing with down the road. So these are just a few graphics I put together. Ocean heat content on your top left. That's how hot the water is. Very hot. That's how deep the water goes. Very hot. So we have that going for it. That's upwelling as the storm passes over, it pulls up cool water. If it pulls up warm water, it can intensify. So it's going to have a warm path of hot water. Light shear ahead. Not expected to be any shear ahead into the Gulf. It's got a little path right now of light shear, but the Gulf's supposed to have light shear. A lot of people question the dust. Well, the dust that we saw today is going to go off into Never Land. And this is the Saturday map on the bottom left, and that is showing no dust. There's a big dust plume coming in from the backside, but it won't reach it. So this weekend, Saturday, this is the dust map on the bottom left, and then the warm loop eddy, kind of tied with the ocean heat content, but it shows you that the current of warm water that pumps out of that Caribbean is extra hot, extra big. Usually the loop eddies break off and we don't see this big, long path of hot water. Usually they're just little circling loop eddy currents in the Gulf, and they drift around. But this is a little more than normal, and it's going to be going straight over that, which will help fuel. So these are things that will help possible rapid intensification. All right. Hope I'm wrong. All right. So everything else we're not going to talk about until the end. Don't ask me about anything else because we got other systems out there, but we're going to go right into this sucker. So, Invest 99. So the Hurricane Hunter's going in today. We're going to get some really good data soon. I guess there's 4 flights scheduled. Somebody posted, Telford told me that. Thank you very much. So let's look at the latest. Let's look at the latest GFS. This is on Tropical Tidbits. So before we do that, let's look at a couple things. Let's look at visible satellite. Visible satellite. Let's just leave this run for a second. Okay. You can kind of see it shaping up. They're just southwest of Jamaica, right? Just the naked eyeball here, you can see spinach. You can really see it bubbling, and you can basically see it pulling tighter that we see with tropical developing systems. You know, they pull energy from the south, pull from the north. They start to get that look. So we're looking at somewhere about here for center. So just remember that visual. Now we're going to go to the Knoll School site, which I love. It's not anything official, but it at least gives you an idea where the center's shaping up. And then look at that. Lo and behold, there's Jamaica, and there's our center. So very spot on where we see that circulation. We go to 500 millibar, little displaced as normal, not in a developing system, but we're getting clear spin in 500 millibar, which means that this is becoming stacked. And this is definitely the area that we're seeing. And sometimes they'll come together. Sometimes the center will get pulled to 500. The main idea with this is this. This is this. There's the Cayman Islands, by the way. Last night I saw a lot of people discussing, we had some spin, down here, and they were thinking it was, the UK had it going way off into Texas. That's not likely at all. If anything, we could see a little shift if this center relocates a little closer to Jamaica, which would possibly shift the models a little bit more to the upper Gulf. Now, again, that's a 500, 700 is going to be a little bit over to the west, and then bottom is a little bit. So we got, basically we got, and I'll show the stagger ring another day, but we basically have, 5, 7, 8. So it's trying to stack up. Now, if we go to the ensembles, which is great because the ensemble shows all these different possible center fixes. These are on Weather Nerds. These are your Euro ensembles. Now look, the Euro ensembles from overnight pick different centers as part of their brain. So the ensembles are all these different little brains thinking, what if? Well, the ensembles are picking different initialization points. They don't have a specific center yet. So what you see with these trends is this. If we do indeed get a center a little bit more here, then follow these tracks. They're obviously going to be on the east side of the cone. And that puts less chance into Texas, more chance for Louisiana eastward because of where our center could be taking shape. So very important to Hurricane Hunter data. But important on this more than anything is to show you that the Euro is very, very consistent now on its 51 member tracks. And then we go to the GFS, and it is showing about the same. Again, very, very little locked in models down here. But look, you know, if we get a center here, everything likely will kind of fizzle this way. I mean, it'll eventually kind of get back to where the high pressure is, but it does a smaller shift, you know. So center a little bit to the east of where these models initiate, then a little bit more wiggle wobble eastward. And you can see these are your 6Z. They just came out. These run. So these are your 6Z GFS, and look, I mean, majority of them obviously are centered right there. So again, if I was in Lower Louisiana, I would be preparing. You guys know all too well, unfortunately, from last season. And remember the east side. You know, this takes a little wiggle towards New Orleans. That means Mississippi, Alabama, you know, Florida Panhandle. All right, so let's take a break. We're going to show models here in a second. Mike's hype page. I love it. I love the hype, man. I'm going to post the HWRF. And, oh, there I go pointing again. I should have a pointing jar. I don't know why I'm pointing all of a sudden. Every time I post the HWRF, we'll get another 1,000 likes. That's what people think I'm doing. The Gizmos, Terry. Yep. What's up, Terry Overstreet? I remember your name. I got your app working for you. Listen, a lot of patience with this category thing too, by the way. I really love the new supporters, and we wanted to do more perks. So there's no data on there. You can't get on the website. Don't worry. And if you're a supporter and you want the app, pay for the app, and I'll refund you. Don't, if you're waiting for the free you know, it's only a couple bucks or whatever. So I mean, you know, don't worry about that. I ain't worried about that. But don't just realize it's massive bookkeeping we're working on. I had to get a pointer. That's right, Bob. I do have a pointer. I did. What else do I got over here? I don't have any adult toys. I can't say that word because I got in trouble one night. Man, I got bottles everywhere. I got Celsius cans. Today I had a Mountain Dew ready to go. All right, so let's look at the models, and then we'll slow down a little bit. So here is the deal. I love looking at models. Now we looked at spaghetti models. Every single one's practically hitting Louisiana. Confidence is increasing. Now we look at intensity. Okay. Tammy Kent says hi. She's heading up down there for OSR. Doing a little power work. Who would have thought New York to Louisiana in less than a week? We'll have a center, Shanda, later today. We kind of see the center now. We kind of see the 500 millibar. Usually 500 millibar wins. Usually, which would mean a little bit of tick to the northeast. All right, so here's the GFS. Let's take a look. This is Tropical Tidbits, and GFS is intensifying it quick now. 988 over Cuba. Here we go. This Saturday. So you can look at what we've seen now in the last couple days. So we had a track going over here. Now we're here. Why is that? Well, it's reacting to this upper level low that kind of came out of nowhere and definitely pulling our system upwards. Proves the point. Long range, looking at upper highs and lows, very hard. It shouldn't be this hard. It used to not be this hard. But anyway, all right, so here's the latest GFS. All right, so here's tomorrow morning. No, this is Saturday morning, 983. Look how close to Florida. Here we go. 974 Saturday, 967, 965, 958, 957. 957. Smack dab over eastern Louisiana. What is a 957, you might ask? Well, 957, what is that? Could be. Drum roll. Drum roll. Drum roll. 957 could be category 3. That's the old Safford-Simpson scale. So category 3 possible. Hey, seen our buddy Greg, man. Are you out there in the world? What's up, Tex from Houston? Good morning, Bill. I don't know. Am I getting my YouTube chat's kind of stuck? Let me try to reload it here real quick. Sometimes my chat program locks up. I can see what the YouTubers are saying. I don't want to ignore everybody. But seriously, listen. I can't stress this enough. We're talking about a storm that's 3 days away. We could have rain bands entering late Saturday night. So you only got 3 days to prepare. If this does happen. So if people ask what's 957, well, it's smack dab right in the middle of a possible category 3. All right, we'll look a little more, but you know this is potential land. This is potential Sunday morning right here. That's fast. GFS has been quicker than most. That's Sunday morning. That means you got to be ready for this thing maybe tomorrow night. This is Sunday morning. Look how close it is to the coast. Sunday morning. Very close to the coast. Very close. Let's see if we can zoom a little better here. So that's Sunday morning, possible making landfall. Sunday, 9:57. All right. So that means GFS still picking that strong route. All right, let's look at the CMC. CMC's been a little weaker. Path is almost the same exact path, though. 985 on landfall. And that would be a little bit later Sunday. This is Sunday morning, so same time frame, basically. Just a few hours less. Canadian's been trending a little weaker. 985, that would be hurricane, maybe just category 1. I didn't mean to say just. Never say just anything in the tropics. Never say just a tropical storm. Never say just a hurricane 1, because we've shown multiple times hurricane category 1s have been some of the most destructive hurricanes ever as far as money goes and damages and deaths because of flooding. So never think just a category 1. But anyway, CMC is a little weaker. 985 smack dab in the same spot as the GFS. GFS and Canadian. Let's go to the Icon. Icon 982-ish, 83-ish. 3 models, 3 exact same spots. This is the 6Z Icon. This one just came out. Last night's 00Z, almost exactly the same. So the Icon is pretty locked in to this, and we got a little weakness coming. That's why we're getting this tug around that high pressure system. All the models are showing this eventual turn, and that is still unfortunately going to slow down a little bit. We're going to have a lot of rain. I'll show you the rain forecast. But we could definitely see a lot of rain out of this one. I'll show you that in a little bit. So there's 3 models smack dab in the middle of Louisiana. So what did I post that was goofy? Oh, she's rude. Oh, you can start a petition, I guess. Hey, Telford, I don't think they have a speed yet because we don't have a center yet. We don't really have center fixes. Once we get, once the hurricane hunters go out there and we get our center, then they'll start being able, plotting their points. Probably I would guess 15 to 18 maybe. That's typical, especially when you ride around that high pressure system, it helps accelerate these systems. So the high pressure to east side is going to accelerate our system. The upper level winds of a high pressure system help accelerate our tropical system. Okay, so let's look at that. Let's look at the latest Euro. Euro has intensified its thinking some. So here is Saturday night, 991, 968. And this only goes out increments of 24 hours, but this is more midday Sunday, late morning Sunday, but 968. So the important thing to note is everybody's expecting intensification here pretty quick. And if we dissect the Euro a little bit more, we can do that on weather models here. We can look specifically at Louisiana. Let's just go in hard now into a couple things. So let's look at the pressure the Euro is expecting at landfall would be somewhere around 963, 958. So the Euro is predicting 958. A lot of strengthening that last day. This is Monday morning, actually, so a little less. The GFS is a little quicker. Sunday is the day, though. Things go downhill quick. So, all right, let's zoom into all the models since we got this high resolution. So there's 958 Euro. And the Euro lets you do things like winds. I don't know if it's going to let me do it on that one, maybe. All right, so here's a wind map on the Euro. These are max wind gusts, 114 knots. Now that's probably out in the water, but we can see, just giving an example of what we could see as far as wind knots. This is the Euro. 100 mile an hour winds knots. So what's 100 mile an hour? I don't even know. 100 knots to miles per hour is, drum roll, 115. Now these are knots. These are not. These are not. But anyway, there you go. So we could, that's big winds. I don't even have to remind you, big winds like that. We already got saturated grounds up there from rains, power outages. Way inland. So that's what the Euro's thinking for as far as winds go. And remember, any little tracks, west or east, or anything to the east, obviously all of this shifts over with it too. Oh, did I close my site? Darn it. We got to go back. So let's go back. Okay, so we showed the Euro. Let's zoom in on the GFS for Louisiana. Show what the latest 6Z is showing as far as wind gust. There is the GFS. Now, obviously, folks in New Orleans understand the significance of this because in Mississippi, counterclockwise wind flow on top of surge obviously pushes a lot of water. This is 957 pressure, potentially a Cat 3 on the Euro, potentially a Cat 3 on GFS. 100 wind knots creates a lot of surge, and this would be Sunday later morning. So obviously the effects would be there's Sunday morning. That's Sunday, like 7 in the morning. So that's pretty significant Possibilities. Let's look at rainfall. Rainfall. Purple is a foot plus. That's a lot of rain. 17 inches peak rain expected somewhere. So that's, that's a lot of area stretching all the way up into Mississippi northward, obviously north of Louisiana state line there. But 12 inches is purple. That's the Euro thinking. A lot of rain. People forget about the effects of tropical systems past landfall, but Euros is a tick less, but still showing pockets of 12 inches plus. Excuse me. All right. So we got the winds down. We got that. Let's look at the big bad HWRF. Now, I don't want to show you the HWRF because it's probably bad. I haven't even looked at it this morning. I don't post the HWRF anymore because people can find it on their own. Hey, Mark, I'm not too sure how the infrastructure is. Unfortunately for Louisiana with Lake Charles last year, obviously, Braxton, yeah, it's going to slow down a little bit in reaction to the high pressure. It's going to curve around. So that's why we're seeing these rainfall totals stretch inland a little bit more than we normally do. Like Gary, everybody loves to see it. Yeah, Bob, I know the initial models were bad. Yeah, tornado threats were huge. We didn't really see it. Well, we did see him actually the day after Henri in Massachusetts. We had a lot of tornado warnings. Stephanie Stokes, what's up, girl? Yep, Hurricane Hunter's going in at noon, 1:30 tomorrow. Man, they got all kinds of flights. Amy thinks a lot of people are going to catch a lot of people off guard. I believe. You know why? I learned a lot. This is so silly, but I made the mistake when we were storm documenting last year. I was focused on the center way too much. And you don't realize that conditions go downhill well before landfall. And that catches people off guard. You might see a Sunday morning landfall, right? Reality is you might start seeing tropical storm conditions Saturday, 5 p.m. They could last through the night as the storm approaches. So don't get focused on that landfall point. It's that time frame ahead that this thing's approaching. So in reality, if the GFS is right, you basically got 2.5 days to prepare, today and tomorrow and, somewhat Saturday. I just think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Buy your gas now. Strong wording from the NHC, by the way. NHC not really ever putting out key messages this early. All right, so here's the HWRF. Oh my God, here we go. All right, what we got? Well, let's just show the worst case scenario. Boom. 943 pressure, 941. So in reality, you got the GFS, you got the Euro, you got the HWRF, you got the Icon, all really, really close along Louisiana. Now my phone's ringing. Scam likely. We'll save the spam calls for later. Where's my buddy Chris at, by the way? My Tarpon Springs. Where's he been hanging out? So anyway, 941 pressure. That's pretty rough. That's definitely Cat 3. So, and what would that look like radar-wise? Like that. NHC mentions Florida Panhandle. That's because squall lines really intensify on the east side of a storm. That's where we get the highest surge. We get the biggest storm chances for tornadoes because it fuels off of that Gulf water and builds out there and spins in. So less effects on the west side, way more on the east side. And this is classic, showing you that possible eye. So it's getting real. Confidence, I'm telling you. Don't like what I see with the models. Models never really seem to, when you get that much model confidence, then rarely are they wrong. Spaghetti models, again, these just came out. If you're just joining, these just came out, 12Zs, tropical tidbits. But look, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry in my opinion. I don't think we'll see any pushes to the west. Put it to you that way. Especially with this tug going on in the short term with our upper level low to the north. If we were to see any shifts, then I believe a little bit more to the east. But when I say little bit, you know, I just... Whew. All right, here's a look at satellite. And you can see it's trying to get going. Pressures in the area, I don't know if we got any yet, really. Pressures are 1,005, that's estimated. We'll have Hurricane Hunter data soon. Wow, all right, what else we got? Get prepared, yes. Brenda Pope, yep. Kathy, I think, you know, we're in the window of little changes now. We're not going to see this thing turn into the Florida Peninsula. You know, I don't think we're going to see it turn into Texas. You know, if anything, I could see it pulling more toward the Panhandle. If this thing reacts to that low, which we're seeing right now over Florida, that would be the only shocker I would think would be a little more track to the east. There's a little weakness here coming across Florida, and this might be tugging our system a little bit more than the models originally thought to the north before this high builds in. It kind of kicks it around. But that would be the only scenario I could see play out, would be this thing forming a little bit more to the north than expected, thus moving the models to the east. So that would be what I'm watching for. There's our high. Dogs are making all kinds of weird noises. If you hear some freaky little noises out there. But yeah, I don't see a Florida Peninsula threat yet. I mean, the high pressure is strong over the weekend. This is Sunday. All the models very confident about this high pressure system over. This is the Euro, GFS, CMC. They're all pretty confident. High remains strong over Florida. So, you know, the avenue obviously could support that. So we'll see. We'll see what the NHC says. But man, the fact that we're seeing all these models predicting 950, 940, you know, even 960, I think the Icon had. Let's take a look here at the Icon. Oh, look at that. We actually have Texas. Whoops. Let's go back. Let's see. Model, Icon, Texas. I thought I saw Texas South Central. That's a little too... Let's see if we got pressure. All right, here's the latest Icon. So the latest Icon was 983. So that's not too... I mean, that's more hopefully what we'll see. But 983 is still, you know, hurricane, so. And just a reminder, Euro is 958, millibar, right in the middle of Louisiana, 958. GFS, latest run on the GFS, hourly, we can look at that. A little bit farther to the east, pressure 956. Pretty strong little hurricane there. And the latest, Canadian's not on there, but we do have the new 6Z. We can take a look at the new 6Z Euro just came out. This only goes out 30 hours, so we got to go to the 1 hour. So this is the 6Z Euro. Let's see what it shows. It shows even about the same. It only goes out 90 hours, but there's 970. So the freshest Euro that's running right now, or just ran right now, the 6Z, which you don't see a lot of places, shows a deepening storm on approach. So I would say it's still going to be in that 950 range, 960, toward middle Louisiana. So that's it. That's the models. We got a pretty tight cluster of spaghetti models. We have Ensemble's pretty tight. Ensembles are great to look in the future, and Euro isn't showing any of that breaking down of that high pressure system. Pretty much all the Euros are focused on Louisiana. Oh, Shelly just messaged me. We just got an NHC message that we got advisories coming. PTC, they need to, because we're talking about Saturday night. Today's Thursday. This thing's 2 days away from potential Gulf impacts. Saturday night, we can start seeing things. But, so, to clarify what I was talking about a shift, that people ask me, will you see a shift? I was saying I could only see a shift to the east. I don't think we're going to see it. I think little shifts now are what we're going to see. And that's that. I mean, look, GFS. So if you're, we look at these ensembles. Look at, so, no GFS ensemble is over in Florida. So the reason that they mentioned Florida Panhandle is because of the wide system. So I got to be careful when I say Florida. It's the fact that you might be in tropical storm warnings or even hurricane watch. I don't know what they'll do, but a shift track a little bit more to the east puts the nasty stuff over the Florida Panhandle. But as far as a direct hit, confidence is very low. We don't have any ensembles yet that show that. So Louisiana would be the ones telling you, guy. Well, of course, anybody on that eastern side. So what did Shelly said? We got advisories coming out. Just got posted. Where did she see that on Twitter? Probably. Let's go to Twitter. This is live breaking news as it happens. Tropical Depression 9. They're already calling it that. So TD9 will be initiated at 11 o'clock. So we'll get a cone. We are going to get a cone at 11 o'clock. Hurricane alerts go out at noon, I believe. Yeah, hey, thanks, Jennifer Winkler for sending that. Sherry, the storm is about 350, 400 miles wide. Atmosphere looking extra spinny for tornadoes. Yes, very always possible with these lowering pressure on approach systems. So anyway, we're getting a new cone at 11. That's huge. Huge. Jesse Ventura, my buddy up in Louisiana. Coming to you, buddy. So let's look at what else is in the tropics real quick. This is Invest 97. This is Invest 98. Both models are out there. Down the road, we have, let's take a look real quick at the Caribbean for next week going into Labor Day. Let's see, Atlantic. Let's take a look at SpaghettiOs. But this is what we got going into the following week. Let's go out 8 days. So this is Wednesday next week. So Wednesday next week, we're still getting possibilities of a little something pulling up from the Caribbean. We also have indication of a wave out there middle of next week. Going into Labor Day weekend, nothing to stress out about, but this is that spot we've been mentioning before this got serious. So if we're going to look at the next spot to watch, definitely down in the Caribbean, going towards next weekend, we could see a little bit of something pulling up. We got another wave out here brewing that's on the models. We can go out 10 days on the Euro and show you this. Euro is not really showing much down in the Caribbean, which is good. The CMC has, though, 10 days out. This is middle next week. Here's that spot we've been talking a lot about. The Canadian is showing it pulling up and possibly being something to watch going into Labor Day weekend. Here is our Atlantic wave 10 days out. So that's still the future. We're looking at middle next week, GFS middle next week, and the GFS is kind of pulling it up and not doing much, put it down in the Bay of Campeche. But this is, going into Labor Day weekend, this little spot here, and same on the Euro, and then the CMC Euro isn't showing that. Then the Icon, which is good at sniffing things out, is starting to show just a little bump. So not a lot of high, not a high percentage chance, but still the next to watch is a wave out in Atlantic, possibly down here. So that has not changed. We've been talking about that a lot. People might be wondering on that. And let's look one more spot here. We can look down in the Gulf. Oh, actually Caribbean. We can look here and you can see a little bubble right there. This is the Euro probability chart, and this is Thursday next week, the same little spot. So we'll keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, we got Tropical Depression number 9, and I'll have to get rolling on the website. And we'll see. Right. So there you go. Let's see what they say. What's the cone going to be? What will the cone be? What will the cone be? I don't know. Let's take a look. This is my prediction. What will the cone be? I don't know. What will the cone be? So let's play a game of what will the cone be. I don't know the timestamps that they'll use, but this they'll probably go on the state line and probably I haven't seen enough models to show that, but I don't know. I would say right there. I mean, that's a pretty tight cluster. Well, we're only talking 4 days out anyways. And that would be Sunday, 8 a.m. Our storm would be somewhere right here. But hey, we got a new cone at 11. Things get real when there's a cone. All right, cool beans. Well, hopefully y'all learned a little bit. Hey, Loretta Reed, thank you. Telfer, what's up, buddy? Summer Sun, I like that name, Summer Sun. I woke up this morning. I had 5 Bud Light seltzers on my tailgate. And I had a missed call from Julie, a text. Miss Julie takes my phone away. She texts me at 12:48. Where are you? I was out front. But hey, I was up at 5:30. Getting Emily off to school. So, man, it's going to be interesting to see at 11 o'clock. I'm going to chase this. I don't think I can, Alan. I got softball this weekend. So, our live schedule, listen. So, tonight is, what day is today? Wednesday. Thursday. We'll be live tonight. I don't know the time yet. We'll be live tomorrow morning. We'll be live tomorrow night. We'll be live Saturday morning for the Daily Brew. So, we'll have our normal Daily Brew tomorrow. We'll have a Daily Brew Saturday. And then, not sure about because listen, when this thing's by Saturday night, everybody knows where this is going. So I tend to slack down a little bit once we get into that 24-hour window. So we'll definitely be live tonight sometime. We'll 100% be live tomorrow, 100% be live Saturday morning. And this, hopefully this doesn't turn into something bad, but it's got all the makings that we could be looking at history. The ice storms always have some historic hurricanes, unfortunately. So, all right, well, cool beans. Well, got a lot to do, a lot to update today. So appreciate you tuning in. As always, the Daily Brew. Big thanks to all our new supporters on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Big thanks to our big sponsors of the website, Furman OSR's heading in. Don't forget Coastal Claims heading in. If you need any help, unfortunately, after the storm, we don't want to wish that on anybody. But all right, so stay tuned. 11 o'clock, new advisory. I'll update the website. The app will be updated. You should be getting notifications on your app. People like the notifications. Last couple of years, I didn't do a lot of them. Now I'm actually doing more. So I did one this morning. You should have got already. Invest 99 trending to the upper Gulf this weekend. Hurricane likely. So make sure you're getting notifications on the app. So, all right. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys later tonight. And, of course, all day long I'll be posting stuff. So stay tuned to the page.